I am Ed Peniche, Professor Emeritus retired, but I was privileged to serve in the U.S. Army during World War II. I was part of the citizen soldier army because I was actually drafted into the U.S. Army. I was trained in the artillery. I received basic and advanced training in artillery. But upon arriving overseas in early May 1944, I had the opportunity to volunteer for airborne duty. And as such, at that time, there were only two assignments, assignment to the 82nd or the 101st. So either way, one would be a winner because would end up in a good, outstanding outfit. And that's, in my case, I was assigned to the 101st. But I had advanced training with FO and Fire Directions Center, so I became part of what they call the follow-up replacement echelon to go into Normandy. And I went as such, but I went by seaborne. In other words, we landed in Utah as a follow-up echelon. Upon a return from England, I was permanently assigned to the 81st Airborne Anti-Tank Anti-Aircraft Airborne Battalion. The 81st was a very special type unit. They were primarily, the first three barracks were primarily to support the parachute infantry, because in World War II there was no such a thing as heavy drop parachutes. And these, the anti-tank weapons had to be taken by glider. However, in our battalion, I was part of those that were paragliding. In other words, we were qualified as jumpers and as well as glidermen. I was also the designated bazooka, rocket launcher team member in my anti-tank squad. I was assigned to Charlie Barry, 81st, so obviously I needed to get familiar with the anti-tank, 57 millimeter anti-tank. At this time, after Normandy, we were issued a brand new six-pounder. They call it six-pounder. The difference was it had higher muzzle velocity, and also it had a double shield protection for the crew. It was, the same, basically the same anti-tank weapon, but it had some modifications that the British have incorporated. Well, also I had to qualify to have to load a glider and take glider flights under tactical conditions. That meant that you load up the glider and then you have to unload in a specific amount of time. And this is what we were in process of doing. This summer of 1944, it became a summer of wait and be prepared, and we had two alerts to go into combat. We have two operations but General Patton was deploying so fast that the operations were canceled. But then it came time for Market Garden, which was originally a British concept for an operation into the liberation of Holland and to outflank the Germans, putting troops, establish an airhead across the Rhine. And that's what the Market Garden, the primary objective was to drop 3 airborne divisions with a big rush by the 2nd British Army into Holland and establish an airhead in the northern Rhine. And that's where I became part of it with the 101st.